welcome to EKPN. I'm your host, Aman.
And I'm your co-host, Miriam.
Today we have a special 30 for 30 segment focusing on an individual who started from the bottom and came up.
The famous Mynor Villatoro, who became a 3-time boxing champ, a gold medalist, and a hometown hero, was not always physically gifted to become the person he is today.
His journey started right here on the south side of Chicago. Coming from a mother who had 15 kids, being one of those kids, he had nothing really to look forward to.
Mynor was raised by his single mother, who had 15 children, and she did not have enough salary to always put food on the table. This really affected Mynor's growth. According to an article which focused on home food and exercise environments of overweight adults and normal weight adults, homes of more overweight adults included less exercise equipment, more TVs, more junk food, which led to obesity in adults as well as overweight. Also, specifically in children, the more access to TVs or electronics they have, the more viewing time, which leads to less physical activity.
With all these facts, looking at it in Mynor's situation, having a household with 15 siblings, there was no room to have physical equipment there for exercise. Along with food, to feed all those people, food wasn't found to be nutritious or healthy. It was found to keep them full, which can really help hurt them in the long run. Now, do you want to take a look back at Mynor's situation?
Yes.
It all started April 13th, 1987. Mynor and his family lived in the south side of Chicago. I had the opportunity to interview his mother, where I learned about how Mynor's lifestyle led to his poor physical activity. Hello, Ms. Villatoro. How do you feel about the income related to poor physical activity in your community?
Well, our parks are ragged. The kids done screwed up this park. There ain't no money in this community. There are potholes everywhere. My car be bumping and grumping. I mean, streets are dangerous as well. People die left and right. I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
Do you think your kids suffer from a sedentary lifestyle?
I believe so. They're all lazy, but I don't even know half the time. I'm busy working all the time trying to feed my kids.
Mommy.
Kids. Look, this is my son John right here.
Mommy, I'm Mynor.
Get out of here. Go ahead. Go to your room.
Okay, well, back to Aman and Miriam.
So, looking at a cross-sectional study that focused on fundamental movement skills and physical activity among children living in a low-income community, it was assumed that the kids that live in this low-income community are more likely to die because they do not engage in physical activity. In communities, school play a huge role in how much physical activity they receive. It accounts for about 50% of the physical activity they receive through recess and after-school programs.
For example, the article talks about how equipment such as jump ropes and medicine balls increase physical activity in kids. Also, kids that are receiving a better education are 5% more physically active than those that are not receiving such a high education.
As a result, not having equipment and not the same education as your peers can definitely come into effect of how these kids develop and the physical activity they get. If they do not receive proper physical activity throughout their life, they will end up developing health risks.
Research indicates that people like Mrs. Villatoro's kids will die earlier, and unfortunately, many can assume they won't become doctors, athletes, and ultimately someone who will make a difference in their communities.
However, Mynor was a rare exception. So, after constant exposure to the flyers, do you think this was enough for Mynor to change his perspective on physical activity and especially boxing?
Well, according to the article called The Role of Affect in the Mere Exposure Effect, the research states that Mynor's chances of changing his behavior are pretty high. But will he be able to develop a cognitive discipline towards the sport of boxing?
As stated in an article, maintenance rehearsal involves a continuous repetition of material or a specific action, which is effective for retaining information over a short period of time. Therefore, because of constant time and practice Mynor put towards boxing, he was able to achieve the goals he had set out for himself.
As we have just seen, Mynor has been making changes in his lifestyle and is well prepared and is ready to move up into the action stage. He has done the following: joined a gym, signed up for boxing classes with one of the best trainers in the country, he has fixed his diet, and he has developed what seems like a great knowledge of boxing.
However, according to research, the action stage is the most unstable out of the rest in the trans-theoretical model. According to a longitudinal study that was published by the British Journal of Health Psychology and conducted by Sonia Lipke and Ronald C. Plotnikoff, it was tested and observed that people feel generally more vulnerable and severe in this particular stage, the action stage, out of the rest. Although self-efficacy rises, the threat of beginning to exercise often outweighs the starting benefits. So will the barriers that come from the action stage end up stopping Mynor, or will he overcome these barriers?
Hello, Mynor. After all this practice, how do you feel about today's match?
Hello, today me and my team feel very ready for this boxing match. You know, we're trying to get this W. I've been talking to my nutritionist. I changed my meal plan and training really hard at the rec and going all in to get this W today.
Do you feel well prepared for this match?
Yes, I feel very prepared because as a kid, I was never really physically active, and you know, like I want to prove to the people that knew before that now I want to be a world champion and get this W and just show to the world that I can be the best that I can be. Woo!
According to an experimental study that measures behavioral changes in relapsers, maintainers, and non-changers, Mynor was more than likely to have completely given up when faced with this feat. In a study called Trans-Theoretical Principles and Processes for Adopting Physical Activity, it was found that relapsers are more likely to find more cons than pros with exercising within the first 24 months. This, in turn, causes the people to be more likely to relapse and become inactive when dealing with conflicts or obstacles.
According to research about maintenance stage, this should last at least 6 months, but for Mynor, it lasted him a career of 15 years.